Hi, everybody, and welcome to the WALT Wines Happy Hour. My name is Jeff Zappelli. I'm the general manager for WALT Wines. And if you're joining us from our Hall Wines or Baca Wines social media, welcome to you. We're excited today. We've got a really terrific show. I haven't been on in the last couple months, so just my apologies if I'm a little rusty, but I've got a professional that's coming on to help me with interviewing and a big star that everyone's going to be able to recognize. And hopefully you'll ask some questions. So if you've got any questions, be sure to put them in the chat and we'll get back to you. Right now, this couldn't be a better time for me. We are about to get really busy at the winery. The first grapes came into the sparkling warehouses in Napa and Sonoma counties, and we are ready for harvest. So if you haven't already booked your plane trip or your hotel or your car ride, it's time to do that because harvest is the very best time to come visit the winery. And we hope to see you at one of our 5 properties, either in Healdsburg for Baca, in Sonoma, Napa for Walt, or our 2 wineries in Napa Valley for Hall. But that's not why you came today. I know that you came because we told you we have 2 big stars coming on board. The first is a gentleman who has a long career in journalism, but he's also been featured with some of the biggest stars, interviewing them on the red carpet and on television. So we have Jason Kennedy joining us, and then the man who probably doesn't need a background, his name is Taylor Lautner. He was a massive star in the Twilight series. He's a huge star. He's also an impressive martial arts. I think he's a black belt across many different disciplines. So we're going to ask him those questions. And in order to do that, I'd like to bring on Jason and Taylor. You guys out there?
What's up, Jeff?
We're here.
How did I do, Jason? Is that a good lead?
10 out of 10, man.
Pretty
I mean, don't go taking my job. Save some room for the rest of us.
Well, I think you just started your own gig, so maybe you can hire me now, right?
I got you, man. This is going to be fun. We've been looking forward to this for a long time, so I appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, and I think so. I'm catching you guys on vacation right now, right? You're up north in Idaho, hanging out.
We are. We're in Idaho. It's beautiful. I wish you could see it, but yeah, this is our little escape.
I convinced Taylor and his fiance and a bunch of other friends to move to this specific part of Idaho because I came about 6 years ago and we did like a boys trip. And I remember I got home and I told my wife, I'm like, Idaho, that's going to be the summer spot. And she's like, are you sure? I mean, what is going on in Idaho? And I said, lakes, golf courses, really nice people. And boom, and we're here. This is our 6th year and you got a spot. So it's a fun community.
And now millions and millions of people will be descending on the small town of Coeur d'Alene.
Already happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, I lived in Spokane for 6 years. Coeur d'Alene Lake used to be, a thing we used to go do in the summer times. And so I haven't been back in 20 years. So I'm happy to hear that it's still up and running. Yeah.
That's an hour away from here.
Yeah.
Do you miss Spokane?
Yeah, of course. So Taylor, so is this a lot like Grand Rapids? No, I shouldn't say that. Spokane is a beautiful town. I lived on the northwest side, right near where the Riverside State Park is. It's just gorgeous. And then I moved to the Bay Area and California and got to know what a beach looks like. And I think after that, it changed my opinion of where I want to live. But this has got to feel like home for you, right, Taylor? You're from Michigan. You're from northern Michigan. I think that's right.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan, Grand Rapids originally. Yeah, and it definitely, one thing I've missed in California is the seasons and this beautiful greenery and all the lakes. So it's good to kind of feel like I'm home.
Where did so obviously they filmed in a wooded area when you were filming Twilight. Where were the sets set up when you guys were up
here?
There?
We're actually on one of the sets. It's hard for him to say goodbye, Jeff. It's been something. I'm glad you brought it up because this is part of the therapy that we're going through. This is actually just one piece of wood behind us.
That's amazing. So how did you guys get to know each other and why are you such good friends? Because ever since we picked up the pre-call, you guys have just been like this the whole time.
I feel bad. You didn't even answer his question.
I know. We filmed the first movie in Portland. And then after that, we filmed the rest in Vancouver.
Okay, so not too
and
far
I was
away.
barely in the first movie, so I was only up there for like a week. So all of my time was in Vancouver.
And then didn't you kind of hop in at the end, shirtless?
Not in the first one.
Oh, okay.
I had that like long, hideous wig.
Oh, I remember that.
I was like 140 pounds.
Yeah,
Wet.
Yeah. Really, the honest answer is I interviewed him. I covered Twilight.
Okay.
I covered all of the movies. I did the press junkets and premieres. I'm not sure why they picked me. It's just
they knew that you'd get along with Taylor.
Twi guy.
Big Twihard. We call them Twihards. Is that one of the things?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
I thought we made that up.
Twi guy.
I'm a Twi guy. Okay. So apparently I was a Twi guy, and I go to the premiere, and I kid you not, for 7 days prior, people would be camping out. And I remember interviewing. I didn't interview you at the very beginning, but I interviewed a lot of the cast, and I specifically remember the moment where I said, you know, your life's going to change forever in just a couple of months when this movie comes out. And they're like, oh, you know, and of course it did. And I just interviewed Taylor a bunch of times, and he was always very kind. But we met through a mutual friend, like really met outside of broadcasting when they did this like boys trip to Montana. Let's go fishing. Like, I don't like to do that stuff, but it was a few of my good buddies. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to get to know Taylor more. He's always been very sweet. We do it. And you got stuck on this lake, you know, fly fishing for 12 hours, and I left 6 hours in, and I ordered a pizza. Yeah, it was, you know, I catered the trip to my needs. Very selfish.
That's where it all started.
It's been love at first sight ever since then, Jeff.
I mean, clearly, I love this. I barely have to talk. You guys are terrific. Well, I broke a huge rule, just so you know. Cheers to you guys. Thanks so much for coming on. We're going to get into the wine in a little bit, but, you know, in the afternoon, it's always a nice way to start.
Thanks for having us.
200 years.
200 years. Yeah. Have you guys been to wine country at all? I know you know, just north of LA is Santa Barbara County, but do you guys drink a lot of wine? Is there wine at the table at the Lautner Kennedy household often? Today, of course. Thank you. We will snip that and put it on social media in 5 minutes.
Just make it a reel.
Me and my fiance love wine. But we go to Paso a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just closer to us. And we love it there. We've only gotten up north 2 times and only to Healdsburg, which we love.
Nice.
And I heard you say in the intro, I think, is that what Baca is?
Yeah. So we buy fruit from a vineyard in Paso Robles called the Ducey Vineyard.
Oh yeah.
And it's our most popular wine that actually we sell for Baca. The tasting room's in Healdsburg.
Okay.
We can build a winery there, and we're replanting the vineyard right now. But it's beautiful. It's up in Dry Creek. And if you haven't been to the Montage yet in Healdsburg,
twice.
That's the only place we stay. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Montage fanatics, obsessed with that one. It's like you're living in a tree house when you stay in the rooms, and just a beautiful place. We love the Montage family.
Yeah. Well, next time you guys are up there, you are welcome to visit. You can try all the wines at the tasting room there, but we feature Baca predominantly. And for all the Baca fans, they're all going bananas right now. So,
yeah, we would love to take you up on that. I've been to wine country the first time I ever went to Napa was covering Eat, Pray, Love, the Julia Roberts movie. So that's where the press junket was, which was really cool because they called it work. And I went to, I went to my first vineyard and I did a tasting. I'd never done a tasting before. And let's call it 1 p.m. And I had interviews later and I didn't know how it worked. I'm drinking all of this stuff. And
your $4.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah,
and so
we appreciate that.
Away. Very buzzed. I'm a lightweight. I was buzzed. But some of the best interviews I've ever done.
That's the trick.
I was going to say, you now know my secret, Jason. This is how I interview people on the internet.
Spread the word, man. It's the best way to do it. Get a little wine in you.
That's why they have the green room, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't at E-News. We didn't have a green room per se. There were dressing rooms, and I definitely was not drinking before I went and shot the show because we would shoot it at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
But after we would, we'd have a bunch of like family and friends and, people come to the studio, and then we'd have, newsroom parties and stuff. It was the best. I spent 16 years at E and just wrapped that up recently, and still I'm in the NBC family, contributing on the Today Show, and
that's great.
Helping with Access Hollywood, guest hosting a bunch. So it's fantastic. But yes, love wine country so much. Been there many times since then. We celebrated Taylor's 30th birthday up at Healdsburg, and it's so fun. This guy, he's being humble. He knows so much about wine. We do a bunch of tours together when we're up there with our friends, and he's like doing the sniffs, and then he's like, well, tell me about this and that. He is an expert when it comes to wine. He can do blind taste tests. It's wild, and he has a lot of wine at the house. It's just overwhelming, quite frankly.
But I've never been to Napa, like proper Napa, which is crime. Like I'm dying to get up there.
Yeah, it's the most popular wine region in the world. We think we make some of the best Cabernets from there. I know you're a big Cabernet fan, so I would think this is going to be a wheelhouse. You can actually stay in Healdsburg and make a 45-minute drive to Napa. So just so you know, you got options. We love to see you guys.
Super easy drive. It's beautiful. It is too.
And there's wineries along the way, so you can get a driver and you can just kind of, breakfast in the morning in Knights Valley, dropping into the north part of Napa. You can actually hit Schramsberg for sparkling wine, which is a great way to get up. And then 25 minutes later, you'll be at Hall.
Can you just pick us up, Jeff?
I can do that. Sure.
Take us around?
Yeah. The gravel road tour of Napa Valley. We can do that.
Please. All right, we're in, man. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I got to do it with my sales team in about 3 weeks, so I'll practice. How's that sound?
Okay, cool.
So there's one thing. So you guys are, hugely well-known mega stars. I just am a guy that helps
Taylor, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Jason, a lot of people know who you are too.
People are like, Jamie Kennedy? Oh, I loved you in Malibu's Most Wanted.
No, I don't think you spend that much time on camera with stars without people getting to know you. So I'm not giving you that. But the one commonality that we have is we have all been on the red carpet. So me, not quite the way you guys are, but I've been on the red carpet. So I wanted to get a vibe from the two of you. Obviously, Jason, you guys have both been there. You both done it. You as an interviewer, Taylor as an interviewee. What is that like? What's it's like trying to both, wrangle stars who are getting pulled in 17 different ways, and what's it like being pulled in 17 different ways?
Yeah. I think you're so good at it. Whether it's a red carpet or even seeing you recently when you're doing your latest movie and you went on Jimmy Fallon at the beginning of the year. And like, cool. he just like, it's something happened. There's a superstar, but in a big star or just a celebrity in general who knows what they're doing and they've got a lot of reps behind them. There's something that comes over them, and it's kind of fun to watch from an outsider's perspective, A, as a friend, and B, as an interviewer, just to watch, and you're just like, wow, like they're so freaking talented. They know how to work the room. They're so great. They just like turn it on, but it's not in a fake way. Like, hey, how are you? It's just like a natural charm. And you watch from a distance and you go, well, that's why they're there right now. And it was cool seeing that recently on Fallon. But yeah, I mean, you on any red carpet, it's pretty crazy. I mean, they go nuts over Taylor. Yeah. He's not going to say that, but I can hype him up and say that. But it's pretty wild.
What was your what's your most?
We made him nervous.
Yeah, is it hard, Taylor? You walk up, all these people as friends. Obviously, Jason, you know pretty well. Are you? Is it hard to like take the professional persona on when you're literally talking to one of your best friends?
So, I've never. Well, actually, I can't say that. You've interviewed me once since we've become,
the Today
close. Show. Yeah, we did a piece at the beginning of the year. And that was really special. But back in the day when I would be on a carpet and, like you said, being pulled all these different directions and it's super stressful, I'm not saying this to butter him up. Whenever I would get to him, and this was before I knew him, it was like it was like my break. Like I got to let my guard down. And I think that's what's so special about Jason and what he does is when you talk with him, your guard immediately goes down because you just feel safe. And a really tough thing to do in his position. So yeah.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, it's true.
I think I made a decision. It took a few years, but realizing, yes, you answer to your bosses and there's an agenda there to get the real juicy scoop and the answers and all, who you're dating, blah, blah. And then I realized it's about relationships, and it's about building those relationships, and that's going to be long lasting. Yeah. So yes, you have a job to do, but you can also ask things in a classy manner. And if you feel like it's not right to ask a specific question, and you just read the situation, the room, the platform, the podium, whatever you're on in that interview. And if it just doesn't feel right, don't do it. And you can answer to your bosses after and say, it didn't feel right, but I can tell you one thing, there's a respect there now. Yeah. And when they do want to talk about it, I guarantee you we're going to get a call and we're going to get that interview. And, and that's kind of how it's been. And I think, now, especially with a lot of celebrities, doing interviews on their own platforms, right? You don't necessarily need us all the time now. So even more so in the moment at a premiere or at a junket, when you only have 5, 6, 7 minutes max with these stars, to, just treat them like human beings, because that's who they are, and then you get on that same page and the interview just becomes a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I will take any notes that you can give me on
I can
our
feel
little
more
interview
comfortable
show here.
With one sip of wine, Jeff. So
I've been sipping away. So you guys, don't feel shy. There's no rules here.
The rules. I've never done a wine.
No rules. No. This is a
a
no rule. This is a safe zone. No rules. Oh, I just lost all my interview notes.
Throw them out the door, man. That's another great rule. What do you want to know, Jeff? Just ask us.
I mean, the dying question I want to know is what's the hardest interview you've ever given? That was my question for you. Like what was the battle that you had to go through?
For Taylor or for me?
For you. And then I got a different question for Taylor on that.
Well, the hardest person I've ever interviewed, hands down, is Tommy Lee Jones. Not a nice guy. He's not.
I can't imagine.
And I was sad because I was a massive fan of The Fugitive and The Client. I mean, I watch all his movies. Yeah. That famous scene in The Fugitive, he's like, I didn't kill my wife. And he's like, I didn't care. And then he jumps. I know you haven't seen it.
I have.
Oh, you have? Wow. This is a big moment.
Yeah.
Like that gave me chills. And the first time I met Tommy Lee Jones at the Men in Black premiere, we were live and I was all like hyped. I did my notes and, looked over my notes and did all my research. And I said, Tommy, you've got this, and this coming up. What project are you really just excited to work on? And he goes, none of your damn business. And we were live.
And you're like,
Tommy Lee Jones, everybody. And like they were dying laughing in the truck, all the producers, man. But he's kind of infamous for not really loving the whole interview thing. Yeah. But that's okay. I still think he's a great actor, and I'm sure he's nice. But I learned a lesson.
I'm sure he's nice.
Yeah, like round 2, I had to interview him for a movie, and I said, all right, I'm not going to ask him anything about the movie because he doesn't want to talk about the movie. Yeah. But he lives on a ranch in Florida. I'm from Florida. So I sat down and I said, Tommy, I know it's been a long day full of interviews. Tell me about Tommy Lee Jones, the cowboy in Florida, when you're just on horseback and you're on your ranch. What kind of peace does that bring you? And he just sat back and told me the best story ever. So I don't know. I learned a good lesson with Tommy. So I don't hate the guy, but he definitely is a very hard interview.
Yeah.
I can imagine, right? Like it just, doesn't want to give you an inch. So Taylor, the question I have for you is, so let's say it's not Jason, it's somebody else, and they're giving you that, the way that Jason described it, that harder interview, and you're kind of like, I don't need you. I don't, you're kind of, I'm being pulled through the gauntlet of the press junket, right? What's how do you politely change the subject, let's say?
So as he was telling that story, It reminded me of one of my own, which I don't know if this exactly answers your question, but
that's all right.
One of the harder interviews I've had was my first time on Letterman.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I think I was 17.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, and people built it up and they're like, hey, like, don't get your feelings hurt. Just know, like, he's going to poke fun at you.
Yeah.
And he keeps the frickin' room like 50 degrees. You're like walking into a wine cellar.
Yeah.
And 54, right? For Pinots?
What are you supposed to 50?
I mean, underground is the best, and then you keep it. But yeah, between 54 and 56, you guys
wine
are good.
fridge. Okay, yeah. I'm still learning.
That's okay. Taylor's nailing it. He's like the analogy he just drew. I was like, this is great.
Right? I know. He just wrote that maybe around.
Yeah. Nice job. Nice interview question answer there, Taylor.
But the first time I was terrified. I went out onto that stage shaking boots, and he did. He poked fun at me, and I just didn't know what to do, so I froze and I just like laughed and it was fine. It was a fine interview. But then when I went back like a year later and did my second time with him, somebody told me, they were like, you just got to give it back to him. Like he can take a joke. Like when he gives it to you, just give it right back to him. And I did that, which is very unlike my personality.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
But I recently watched that interview back, and I was like, that was a good interview. And
nice.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, giving it back to Letterman was some good advice.
I have to watch that.
I know. You have to watch my first one first, though.
Yeah. The second interview, you're like, what about you, old man? You like take it way too far.
Security comes in.
That's great advice.
No, but I think that's a great answer to just learning through it, going back into it, and yeah, I think the confidence, right? Like, hey, I'm people are here to see me, Dave. You brought me on here to see me, so it's about me, right? Let's
for sure.
So nice job. Congratulations. So I wanted to talk about the wine really fast, if that's all right.
Yes,
we're drinking Pinot Noir. Thank you so much for calling that out. This is actually a wine from the Santa Barbara area. Just for your fans and people that are joining us. So WALT Wines is a Pinot Noir producer. We're owned by the Craig and Catherine Hall, the Hall family. And I produce Pinot Noir from as far north as the Willamette Valley, so up in Oregon, all the way down to the Santa Barbara County. So Pinot Noir, different from Cabernet in that it grows close to the ocean. It needs cool climates. It's a thinner skin. It's kind of a it's called the heartbreak grape in our world because it's prone to disease. It's prone to rot. It doesn't like a lot of heat, and it needs heat in order to ripen to make it beautiful. So you find these wines in places like Santa Barbara County and the Santa Rita Hills, and the just north of Paso Robles in an area called the Santa Lucia Highlands, which is almost near Monterey. Sonoma Coast, obviously infamous or famous, I should say, famous and infamous. For Pinot Noir in the Russian River. We make it from a little further south of the Russian River. And then, of course, Anderson Valley. No one goes there. But if you guys want to add that to your tour, I'm happy to drag you to the Anderson Valley.
Okay.
So that's a wine called Blue Jay that we make. So this is from the Santa Rita Hills. It's from 3 different vineyards. Difficult to explain this because we're not there, but it's a beautiful valley that's covered in diatomaceous earth. So it looks like a sea of kind of white soil. And the real key to this is it's very diverse in the agriculture. So all the best things that you want to eat and drink are there. You've got berries, you've got lettuce, you've got really wonderful organically grown fruit, and then Chardonnay and Pinot Noir are the dominant grapes that are grown in the Santa Rita Hills. And so the wine tends to have more concentration, more flavor, but it also has this nice earthy mineral tone to it. So it's not the pristine fruit that you may get from the Sonoma Coast, the really regal style of fruit. This has more of an earth quality and more cranberry and crunchy fruit is the best way I could explain it. So,
I like
what you guys thought.
I really like this.
Would you say it's like more of a fuller bodied Pinot than normal? Because
you're not a massive Pinot guy.
Yeah, right? I'm not a big Pinot guy, but this by no means is like watery or some of the reasons that I typically don't enjoy Pinots.
Yeah, you like wines that stick, right? That sticks to your palate is my guess. I'm just
but this is a nice Pinot.
Thank you. Yeah. This is definitely so. The further south you get, the more concentrated the wines get because the weather, as you guys know, it's warmer and you get less rain. So we produce wines from the Santa Rita Hills. We have 3 different bottlings, and they tend to be more powerful and structured.
Okay.
But also they tend to have more fruit because they hang for a very, very long time. It's one of the longest growing regions in viticulture in the world, actually. And it's just because it doesn't rain and it's just kind of sunny all the time down there with this haze of fog that really protects the grapes. So when you guys come north, I'll introduce you to a wine from Gap's Crown. That's more of that, it more pure regal. It's the next step into Cabernet. This still has some of that earthy quality that you get in Pinot Noir. So yeah, thanks for the compliment.
Sure, yeah, well done.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in the color too.
Yeah, definitely.
This is when I start getting nervous because I don't have anything to say.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You got it. You're doing well.
Say what you feel.
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay,
makes me feel good inside.
That's a good start.
It's pleasing. I like the bottle. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I like the W for Walt. Like that's what you get around a bunch of people that they know wine, and I'm like, oh, here we go. What am I going to say next?
It makes a good microphone for interviewing. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah. Just got to use what you have, man.
Taylor, I think you can keep bringing him along. He's doing well.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
So is Walt your Walt line? Is that all Pinot?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. So Catherine's founder of the winery. Obviously, her dad was a grower in the Mendocino Valley, and her dad's name was Bob Walt. So her maiden name is Walt.
Got it.
And because he was a grower, and Pinot Noir is so much about the place where it's from. Like Napa is important because there are differences in the valley, but it's hot and it's Cabernet driven, and so you have to really. There are a few wineries like us that actually do develop multiple different parts of the Napa Valley as a product line.
Yeah.
And for Pinot, it's like that's what you do. You've got vineyards that are maybe 8 miles apart from each other that are drastically different in flavor. And so it's all about the vineyard and site. And so for that reason, we named it after her dad because he was the kind of the starter. He never made wine, but he grew grapes for a long time. So. Okay. Yeah. And then Baca is Zinfandel.
Jeff, do you feel like you have the greatest job ever because you're in such a cool area and the stress levels? I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but from an outsider's perspective, like it's a dream area to live. It doesn't seem super stressful. Everybody's so chill and you're just drinking wine all the time. Am I missing something?
You're great at turning the interviewer into the interviewee. So nice job there.
Honest question. I really want to know because I feel like it'd be so great. What a wonderful job it would be.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a terrific industry to be a part of. To work for a family that's hell bent on making high quality wines across the board is where you want to be in your career if you're in the world of wine.
Yeah.
And it's you don't wake up stressed any day. We got work to do. We got wines to make, and it's stressful to do that. But doesn't suck.
Good gig.
Pretty cool.
I'm not gonna say. And I get to meet now. The silver lining for me on the last 2 years is I get to meet really cool people and talk to them and drink wine.
Your cabs are some of my favorite out there.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Awesome.
Yeah. That's how I initially met the Hall family. Was just falling in love. You're obviously Catherine Hall and Jack's Masterpiece.
Jack's.
Look at you go. Yeah, you know our wines.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of your cabs. And then Baca is it all Zin?
For the most part, yeah. So Jennifer makes Jennifer Brown, Catherine's daughter. She's the director and vintner for Baca.
Okay.
She makes Zinfandel, and then she has a really cool wine called Pinch Hitter, which has been a Carignan in the past. It's a Petite Syrah, I think, this year.
Ooh.
And then she makes this really cool wine called Stargazing, which is her Marsan Roussan. And she was bold enough to put rosé in a can, so we have a rosé too. But other than that, it's not dissimilar to Walt. It's about vineyards and the different flavors you get from specific vineyards in Zinfandel, and some appellation wines too.
That pinch hitter sounds great.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a fun story. It's I mean, the truth of it is, Allison, the winemaker, she'll find these really great vineyards, and we'll need, a product to fill in. Maybe it's a new line, something to keep it exciting. And so it's literally the pinch hitter in the portfolio. It'll come in, it'll knock everyone's socks off, and then there's like 200 cases, and it's gone. So,
wow. That's a baseball reference.
Yeah, thanks.
She's got all kinds of baseball, home base, bleachers, pinch hitter. I just name it after the vineyards. It's just,
easy.
Yeah, make it easy on me.
Simple.
All right, gentlemen, I have a game I'd like to play with you because I've heard this is an important part of doing these shows. So we have a game called Never Have I Ever.
Oof. Oh, wow.
In this game, for those of you who don't know how to play along at home, I'm going to ask Jason and Taylor questions about something that they may or may not have done or thought. And their job is to answer in the affirmative by drinking wine or by not drinking wine, which means that they haven't done this.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's been a while since I played this. It's been since high school, which is a long time for Taylor, about 5 years ago. If I've done it, I drink.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Come on.
Yeah. So the example that I was going to provide, and Taylor may actually have to drink too, is I would say never have I ever drank wine from a wine barrel. I have, so I will drink.
Yeah. Right.
And Taylor has as well.
Oh, well, one time on a tour, they do that little thing, right?
Yeah,
and then they give it to you.
Yeah. There we go. Cheers.
There you go.
Let's go.
All right. That's called a thief, by the way, and we're stealing wine from the barrel.
A thief. Got it.
All right. So I've got my production manager ready. So never have I ever said no when someone asked for an autograph.
Man, I love when people ask me for autographs. It's been years. Taylor? I'm not drinking that because never happened. You need a drink to that. There's definitely been a time. You've hundreds of thousands of people. There's been an opportunity where maybe they
premiere line where you're literally got 2 minutes to get into the premiere and you're like running by.
Yeah, there's had to have been a couple times.
You got to be careful now because there was just that story in the news and one celebrity didn't give another celebrity an autograph 10 years ago and now everybody's mad at her. I'm like, that's funny. It's just, I give up.
That's funny.
Right. Yeah.
He's a nice guy though.
Yeah, I rarely ever say no, but sometimes you do have to protect your, personal time.
Got it.
You're so incredible with your fans, honestly. It's really fun to watch. I appreciate it.
All right, the next question. Never have I ever pretended to be someone else when I was recognized.
I mean, again, that'd be nice to have that problem.
No, I don't think someone else. But plenty of times I've pretended not to be me.
Exactly.
Oh, does that mean I'm supposed to drink?
Yes.
Got it. Sorry.
I'll clarify the question next time.
Got it. Yeah. My mistake.
Yeah. Who do you say you are?
No, I just say that I get it all the time.
Oh yeah, that's not me.
That's my answer. Is like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'll either be like who, or I'll be like, yeah, I get it every day.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. But yeah,
I get Tommy Lee Jones a lot. I'm kidding.
I need to do this interview in person. This sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Never have I ever changed a diaper.
No, you tried to convince me to. I said no.
You haven't.
No.
I was like, no nieces, nephews in the world?
No. River, his son, is my first nephew. My sister is having. I'm gonna be an uncle again.
Congrats.
Year, so I'm sure she will actually force me to. But Jace tried to convince me to once, and I said I'm good.
I took a video of it, and it did very well on the net, as the kids say, the internet.
Oh, on the Insta or the social.
Yeah, and I handed him my son at, I believe, 2 days old. You're the first person, you and your fiance, to come over, and Taylor holding it, he was like, he didn't know what to do with it, and he froze, and he started sweating, and it was just
genuinely sweating.
Yeah.
I was like dripping down my back.
And it was, but it's gotten so much better. My son's a little over 4 months now, and it's you're ready to go for your real niece or nephew.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was good practice.
Excellent.
Changing a diaper is so fun, by the way. If you love to clean, like I just grabbed like 6 or 7 wipes. I know it's a lot, and I don't want to waste, but you gotta, there's just like a beautiful process, and when it's over, you feel so accomplished. This morning, 7 a.m., cleaning a great diaper.
Wow.
Just letting him start his day fresh. It was beautiful.
That's
I know you didn't ask for those details, but that was
no, that's fine. I mean, whatever details you want to provide, I'm good with. I have 3 kids, so I'm happily out of diapers.
How old are your kids?
13, 10, and 8.
Okay.
Sorry, 13, 11, and 8. But
hopefully out of diapers, yeah.
Yeah, that would you
I'm
definitely wouldn't like diapers if you're still in diapers.
I'm Maury Povich once. I'm serious.
Yeah, you can see that these questions are designed for one person to drink. Anyways, so next question. I never have ever told my wife I liked her cooking when I didn't. I'll apply this to fiancés as well.
Okay. Sorry, Tay.
We'll just leave it at that. Never have I ever. So that we can all still, go to bed tonight. Never have I ever had a song written about me.
Have you?
We know where you're going with this one.
Tricky
Jeff. What do you mean by that, Jeff? What do you want to know?
I don't know. I mean, I've never had a song written about me. So it's just kind of one of those general questions.
It's true. Jay-Z is a big fan of mine, and he tends to just slip my name into every one of his songs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Jay-Z, by the way, just taught him everything he knows. I was Jay-Z before he was Jay-Z. So that's just,
Wow.
But nice job on the initials. That's my nickname at the winery, actually.
I love that.
I'm tracking. Yeah.
He's quick. Taylor, he's fast, man. I gotta up my game a little bit.
The Pinot helps.
All right. Never have I ever enjoyed a smell most people find gross.
Okay. We have to tell now.
No chance.
Okay.
I would say it's the barnyard flavor in wine. Like you go into a farm, some people are like, doesn't, I like the baby poop. Sometimes you get in wine, especially in Pinot.
Get that.
I love gasoline. The smell of gasoline.
Same. I like skunk.
What?
Skunk? Okay.
So have you ever been sprayed by a skunk?
No. Me and my sister both, from when we were like children, have always loved the smell of skunk. Like when we're driving down the road and we smell a skunk, we'll roll down our windows.
If you see, excuse me, I get choked up thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you see more than one skunk, do you say skunks or skunk? Skunk.
It is skunk?
I think it's skunk.
Yeah.
I'm going with skunk.
Yeah. Just in case.
Producer just told me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But that's bizarre because most people, if they were ever to get close to a skunk and smell it, you bathe in tomato sauce and they don't want anything to do with it. But you find that fascinating.
Yeah, I can't wait for the day that I'm sprayed by a skunk.
All right. I'm going to get a couple more questions. Did you guys
let's move on?
What are I talking about?
When you like do the tease of this podcast, Can you just do that soundbite right there?
The skunk?
Yeah, I can't wait for the day that I'm sprayed by a skunk.
By a skunk.
Next week, Jason Kennedy and Taylor Lautner. People be like, I'm good.
I think
pretty busy. I'm not going to listen to this one. He's weird.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Jay-Z wrote songs about me. That's the one I'm going to go to. That's definitely hitting right now.
Yeah.
All right, I got 2 more questions for you guys. The first one is never have I ever drank. Oh, sorry, I'm out of order now, but drank wine out of a bottle.
For sure.
Cheers to that, boys.
Mm-hmm.
I see you.
That's how I was going to answer that question. And then the last one, which is actually a new question, so we're just going to go with this, is never have I ever hosted on Saturday Night Live.
I've been dying to drink my glass for that one. Dream come true, but sometimes you don't hit your dreams, kids.
I know, man.
He was at the time. He was the youngest. He was the youngest at the time, right? One of,
but
like
still
the
third at the time. It was like Tatum O'Neal and Drew Barrymore,
Shirley Temple. I might have made that up. No, but seriously,
I was 17 when I hosted it. Another terrifying experience, but so rewarding and fun.
I was gonna say that was the one I remember that episode. So that was my own personal question. So yeah. Yeah, I'm a big Saturday Night fan, though, so I've watched a lot of them, and I think you did pretty well actually. It's I can't imagine. We've hosted a few of the actors that are on the show on our little wine tasting happy hour, and that was, I think, the question I asked Chris Red is, how do you prepare stars that are coming on, because it could be such a different medium if they're not like the pace, I'm sure is just kind of crazy. So
yeah. It was terrifying. I remember when I first got offered it, I was so scared of it. I passed, and I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I don't do accents. I don't sing or dance. Like, I don't do any of the things people do on that. And then Lorne called and he was like, "You can do this, Taylor." I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, you're doing it." I was like, "All right."
You don't know how to do one accent?
Well, funny enough, on my episode, I ended up doing multiple accents and danced, kind of sang. Yeah. So it's just, it got me out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah. They just push you like that, right? They're like, this is going to be funny. Just trust us.
Okay. Yeah. If you're scared of it, then you should probably be doing it.
That's true. That's good advice.
Well, I hope you guys are back on it soon. Jason, I don't know if we're going to make it, but I think Taylor.
It's hard to be back on it when you've never been offered, Jeff.
This is true. I wanted to thank you guys. You've given us a ton of your time. Jason, I know you got some big things coming up with your production company. Is there anything you wanted to share that's happening in the near future?
Well, fittingly, Taylor and I are working on a project with some other celebrities, and we want to change people's lives in a big way.
Nice.
There's a lot going on in the world right now. A lot of people need extra love. They need finances and resources that they don't necessarily have the opportunity to get. We're going to change that on a big scale. And we've been working this whole year on that, and we'll continue to work on it until it becomes a reality. So that's something that you and I are producing behind the scenes right now. And
that's amazing.
We'll come back on and tell you all about it when we get that green light soon.
Love to.
Well, let's do it in Napa or Sonoma or Healdsburg, and we'll do it in person. That way, it's just so much easier for us to drive home after that.
So good. We're in, Jeff. We appreciate it so much, man. And thank you for the goodies. Some good stuff right here.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. We'd be happy to just let us know where you are. And if you need some help, we'll be happy to get you some wine. So Jason Kennedy, Taylor Lautner, thank you so much for coming on the Walt Wines Happy Hour. Cheers to you guys for being such great sports. And I hope to see you all in person soon. Enjoy your vacation.
Love that.
Thanks,
you
Jeff,
for having us.
Appreciate you guys.
Anytime. Thank you. That was fun. They clearly know each other really well. Made that interview super easy for me. So thanks, Jason Taylor, for coming on our happy hour. As I mentioned, this is Harvest. This is a great time to come visit us. If you've just jumped on because you saw two big stars show up on our happy hour, please be sure to follow us at Walt Wines, at Hall Wines, or at Baca Wines, so that we can give you the most up-to-date information on what's going on. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Drink well and be safe.